Aging is a natural part of life, something that sneaks up on us all. One day, we're looking in the mirror at the same face we've known for years, and the next, we start to notice the subtle changes, those fine lines and silver strands that weren't there before. It's a strange realization, even though we know that aging is inevitable. For many of us, it feels like time has passed in the blink of an eye, and suddenly, we're dealing with the realities of growing older. But here's the thing. Aging isn't something to be feared or avoided. It's not about decline, it's about progression, moving into a new and richer phase of life. We often hear about the challenges of aging, the aches, the slower pace, and the tasks that require more effort than they once did. While these are real experiences, they're only part of the story. There's another side to aging that's filled with dignity, self-assurance, and a quiet power that comes from embracing who we are as we grow older. Aging gives us the chance to reflect on the wisdom we've accumulated, the lessons we've learned, and the experiences that have shaped us. It's a time to celebrate what we've gained, not just what we've lost. But along with this wisdom and self-assurance, there are also some behaviors that can creep in without us even realizing it. Habits and tendencies that might seem harmless at first, but can have a negative impact on how we relate to others and to ourselves. These behaviors can subtly undermine our relationships, our happiness, and the way we engage with the world, and often we don't even realize we're doing them. In this video, we're going to talk about some of those behaviors. We'll dive into 9 common habits that many people develop as they age. Habits that might seem like small things, but can add up over time, affecting not only how we see ourselves, but also how others see us. The good news is that with awareness and a little self-reflection, we can make changes that will help us age more gracefully and continue to grow into the best version of ourselves. If any of these ideas resonate with you, if they spark a memory or make you think about your own experience of aging, I encourage you to join the conversation. Leave a comment below, share your thoughts, and let's create a dialogue about how we can navigate the journey of aging together. And before we dive into these important points, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more valuable discussions like this one. Your input and engagement are important, and I'd love to hear your stories and reflections on aging. Now, let's explore these 9 behaviors, some of which might surprise you, as they're things we often do without even realizing it. But by recognizing them, we can make meaningful changes that lead to a more fulfilling, graceful aging process. Let's get started. 1. Dominating conversations. As we grow older, many of us feel an increased desire to share our life experiences and the wisdom we've gained over the years. After all, we've lived through so much. Countless challenges, successes, and lessons. It's only natural to want to pass that knowledge on to others, especially younger generations. However, this can sometimes lead to a tendency to dominate conversations, often without realizing it. When we take up too much space in a conversation, it can create an imbalance, leaving others feeling unheard or overshadowed. This is particularly true when we're engaging with younger people, who may also want to share their views or experiences. While we might think that our advice or stories are helpful, we must remember that conversation is a two-way street. It's not just about what we have to say, but also about creating space for others to express themselves. There's a certain joy in listening too. When we take the time to really hear what someone else is saying, we open ourselves up to new perspectives and ideas. Listening can be a powerful way to connect with others, especially across generational lines. Younger people have their own unique insights, shaped by the world they're growing up in, a world that's different from the one we knew at their age. By giving them the space to share, we can learn just as much from them as they can from us. But why do we tend to dominate conversations as we age? Sometimes it comes from a genuine desire to help, to impart knowledge that we think will make a difference in someone's life. Other times, it might stem from a sense of insecurity or the need to prove that we still have value in a world that often prioritizes youth. It's important to recognize these underlying motivations because they can help us become more mindful of how we engage with others. One way to avoid dominating conversations is to ask more questions. Instead of jumping in with advice or a story, take a step back and encourage the other person to share their thoughts. This not only shows that you're interested in what they have to say, but also fosters a deeper connection. When people feel heard, they're more likely to open up, creating a more meaningful exchange. Another tip is to practice active listening. This means not just waiting for your turn to speak, but fully engaging with what the other person is saying. Nod, make eye contact, and give verbal cues that show you're paying attention. When it's your turn to respond, try to build on what the other person has said, rather than steering the conversation back to your own experiences. In the end, conversations are about more than just words. They're about building relationships. By being mindful of how we communicate and making space for others, we can create conversations that are more balanced, meaningful, and rewarding for everyone involved. As we age, the value of these connections only grows, so it's worth taking the time to nurture them. 2. Excessive boasting. As we age, it's only natural to feel proud of the accomplishments and experiences we've accumulated over the years. After all, life has thrown its fair share of challenges our way, and surviving, let alone thriving, through those moments is something to be proud of. However, there's a fine line between sharing our achievements and excessive boasting, and it's important to recognize when we might be crossing that line. Excessive boasting can be off-putting, especially in social settings or when interacting with younger people. It's easy to fall into the habit of frequently bringing up past successes, thinking that it will earn respect or validation from others. But in reality, constant self-promotion can create distance in relationships. People may start to feel that conversations with us revolve too much around what we've done, instead of engaging in a mutual exchange. It's important to remember that we don't need to constantly remind others of our achievements to prove our worth. Our life stories and the lessons we've learned will naturally shine through in our actions and words without us having to boast. Humility is a trait that becomes even more attractive as we age. It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level because it shows that we are confident enough in ourselves that we don't need to constantly seek approval. So, why do some older people tend to boast more as they get older? Part of it could be the fear of being forgotten or overlooked in a society that often celebrates youth. As the years go by, it's easy to feel like the world is moving on without us, and that can lead to a desire to remind others of our significance. While this feeling is completely understandable, boasting is rarely the best way to bridge that gap. Instead, we can focus on building relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, where our stories are valued without the need for self-promotion. To avoid the trap of excessive boasting, it helps to become more mindful of the conversations we're having. The next time you feel the urge to share an accomplishment, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, am I sharing this to genuinely contribute to the conversation? Or am I seeking validation? If it's the latter, consider whether there's a more meaningful way to connect with the person you're speaking to. Another way to balance sharing is by turning the spotlight on others. Show interest in their stories, ask about their experiences, and celebrate their successes. When we make an effort to highlight the achievements of others, it not only deepens our connections, but also builds a sense of mutual respect. By fostering conversations that aren't one-sided, we can create a richer, more fulfilling dialogue. In the end, it's not about suppressing pride in what we've done. It's about finding the right balance. By sharing our stories with humility and grace, we can inspire others without alienating them, creating relationships that are more genuine and long-lasting. 3. Making quick judgments. Break time equals 2 seconds. As we age and accumulate life experiences, it's easy to feel like we've seen it all. After decades of navigating the ups and downs of life, we often feel that we can predict outcomes, judge people, and assess situations more quickly. However, this tendency to make snap judgments can sometimes prevent us from truly understanding others, leading to missed opportunities for growth and connection. Quick judgments often come from a place of familiarity. When we encounter something that reminds us of a past experience, we may think we know exactly how things will play out. It's as if our years of experience give us the ability to foresee the future. But here's the truth: life is full of surprises, and even in our later years we can still be caught off guard by people and events. By making quick judgments, we risk closing ourselves off to new perspectives, different ways of thinking, and evolving societal norms. For example, when interacting with younger generations, it's tempting to compare their values, ideas, or behavior to how things were in our day. While it's true that some things may be different, it's also important to remember that every generation faces its own unique challenges and developments. By keeping an open mind and avoiding the temptation to judge too quickly, we can foster better relationships with younger people and gain valuable insights into the world as it is today, not just as it was when we were younger. Making quick judgments can also limit our ability to grow personally. Just because we're older doesn't mean there isn't still room for us to learn, adapt, and evolve. Life has a way of continuing to teach us no matter our age if we're open to it. When we approach situations with curiosity rather than judgment, we allow ourselves to engage more deeply with the world around us. This openness helps us stay connected and enriches our interactions with others. So how can we break the habit of making quick judgments? One powerful tool is mindfulness. The next time you feel yourself jumping to a conclusion, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what else could be going on here? Is there a perspective I haven't considered? By giving yourself that pause, you create space for curiosity and empathy to take the lead, rather than judgment. This simple practice can make a world of difference in how you engage with others and the world. Another helpful strategy is to actively seek out new experiences and perspectives. Try talking to someone from a different generation, cultural background, or field of expertise. Listen to their views without comparing them to your own experiences. This exercise in listening helps stretch our minds and keeps us from becoming stuck in our own assumptions. Ultimately, life is full of complexities, and no one, no matter how experienced, can truly know it all. By approaching life with openness and curiosity, we remain students of the world, always learning and growing, even as we age. 4th, neglecting appearance. As we grow older, our priorities often shift, and comfort tends to take precedence over appearance. After all, many of the fashion trends and social pressures that we once cared about seem less important with age. The focus becomes less about impressing others and more about feeling at ease. However, while comfort is crucial, completely neglecting one's appearance can have unintended consequences, both in how we feel about ourselves and how others perceive us. It's easy to think that taking care of how we look doesn't matter as much anymore, especially when the body starts to show signs of aging. Wrinkles deepen, hair grays, and the skin changes. Many older individuals begin to feel that it's too late to keep up appearances, and as a result, they might neglect grooming, personal hygiene, or even dressing with care. But the truth is, how we present ourselves to the world continues to affect how we feel about ourselves, regardless of age. Taking pride in our appearance can positively impact our self-esteem and confidence, giving us a sense of dignity and control. This isn't about trying to look younger or keep up with the latest trends. It's about acknowledging that self-care is important at every stage of life. Dressing well, maintaining personal grooming, and taking care of basic hygiene can uplift our mood and project self-respect. When we put effort into our appearance, it signals to the world that we still value ourselves, and in turn, others will often respond more positively to us. On the other hand, neglecting appearance can lead to feelings of decline and a loss of self-worth. It can create a cycle where we start to feel invisible or irrelevant, which can negatively affect our mental and emotional well-being. The small act of taking care of how we look, whether that's a simple haircut, wearing a favorite outfit, or moisturizing our skin, can make us feel more alive, engaged, and connected to the world around us. It's also worth noting that how we present ourselves doesn't have to be about expensive clothing or elaborate grooming routines. It's about finding a balance between comfort and self-respect. Simple things like wearing clothes that make us feel good, keeping our nails trimmed, and maintaining personal hygiene go a long way in boosting our confidence. These small acts of self-care are a reminder that we still matter and deserve to feel good about ourselves. Additionally, the way we care for our appearance affects our relationships with others. When we make an effort to look after ourselves, it communicates that we are still engaged with life, still interested in participating, and still taking pride in who we are. This helps strengthen connections with friends, family, and even strangers, as we project a sense of self-worth and dignity. In conclusion, while aging brings inevitable physical changes, we should never feel that it's too late to care about how we look. Taking pride in our appearance isn't about vanity. It's about self-respect, confidence, and maintaining a sense of dignity as we continue to age. Fifth, demanding respect based solely on age. As we age, there's a common expectation that respect should automatically come with the years we've lived. It's a sentiment that is rooted in many cultures. Age is often associated with wisdom, experience, and authority. However, while aging can bring about a wealth of life experience and knowledge, it's important to recognize that respect is something that is earned, not demanded. Simply reaching a certain age doesn't entitle anyone to automatic respect from others, especially in today's world, where mutual respect is often based on actions, character, and how we treat others. In the past, age alone might have commanded deference, but times have changed. Younger generations in particular are more inclined to offer respect based on qualities like kindness, empathy, and open-mindedness, rather than just seniority. While it's natural to expect some level of respect for the life we've lived, demanding it based solely on age can lead to strained relationships, especially with younger people who may not fully understand the values we were raised with. It's crucial to remember that respect is a two-way street. Just as we expect younger people to respect our experiences and perspectives, we must also respect theirs. Demanding respect without giving it in return can lead to alienation and a breakdown in communication. Rather than expecting respect simply because of the number of years we've lived, it's far more effective to demonstrate through our actions why we deserve it. One of the best ways to earn respect is through humility. As we grow older, we have the opportunity to lead by example, showing others that while we have a wealth of life experience, we are still open to learning and growing. This attitude not only commands respect, but also fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships with those around us. Respect is earned through how we conduct ourselves, our kindness, our willingness to listen, and our ability to empathize with others. It's also important to note that respect is something we can cultivate by embracing our role as mentors. Instead of demanding respect, we can earn it by offering guidance, support, and encouragement to younger generations. By sharing our wisdom in a way that is helpful and not overbearing, we create connections that are built on mutual appreciation rather than obligation. Moreover, respect comes from our character. People, regardless of age, are respected for their integrity, honesty, and ability to treat others with dignity. As we age, we have the opportunity to strengthen these qualities within ourselves, thereby naturally earning the respect of those around us. In conclusion, while it's understandable to desire respect as we age, it's important to remember that respect is not something that can be demanded. Instead, it should be cultivated through our actions, attitudes, and the way we engage with others. By leading with kindness, humility, and empathy, we can inspire the respect we seek and continue to build strong, meaningful relationships throughout our later years. 6. Resisting change. One of the most common behaviors we see as people age is the tendency to resist change. As we grow older, we become more accustomed to the ways we've always done things, and it can be challenging to adapt to new technologies, ideas, or ways of thinking. However, this resistance to change can lead to isolation, frustration, and a sense of being left behind, especially in a world that's constantly evolving. It's natural to want to stick with what's familiar. After all, many older adults have spent decades honing their routines, beliefs, and ways of doing things. There's comfort in the familiar, and change can feel unsettling, especially when it's happening at a rapid pace. But resisting change, whether it's technological, social, or cultural, can create barriers that prevent us from staying engaged with the world around us. The truth is, change is inevitable, and the more we resist it, the more disconnected we may feel. One area where this resistance is particularly evident is technology. In today's world, technology is advancing faster than ever, and it's easy for older generations to feel overwhelmed or left behind. Whether it's smartphones, social media, or new medical advancements, the constant updates can feel like too much to keep up with. However, learning to adapt to these changes, even at a slower pace, can help older individuals stay connected to loved ones, access vital information, and engage with the world more fully. The key is to approach change with curiosity rather than fear. Resisting change isn't just about technology. It can also manifest in the way we view societal shifts. As the world around us evolves, it's important to stay open to new ideas, perspectives, and values. Holding on too tightly to the past can prevent us from seeing the benefits of modern thinking or from understanding younger generations. Embracing change, on the other hand, allows us to continue learning and growing even in our later years. So, how can we embrace change instead of resisting it? One powerful approach is to remain curious. Curiosity is the antidote to fear. When faced with something new or unfamiliar, rather than shutting down or dismissing it, ask questions. Take small steps to learn more about it, whether that's a new app, a new way of thinking, or a shift in societal norms. When we approach change with curiosity, we open ourselves up to new experiences that can enrich our lives. Another way to stay adaptable is to remind ourselves that we are still capable of learning no matter our age. It's a myth that older people can't learn new things. The brain continues to be adaptable throughout life, and with a little patience and effort, we can master new skills and technologies. Learning keeps us mentally sharp, engaged, and connected to the people around us. In conclusion, while it's natural to feel hesitant about change, resisting it can limit our ability to stay engaged with the world. By embracing change with curiosity and openness, we allow ourselves to continue growing, learning, and staying connected, no matter how old we are. 7. Avoiding responsibility for health. As we age, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that health is something beyond our control. After all, many of the physical changes we experience, slower metabolism, muscle loss, joint pain, are a natural part of the aging process. However, avoiding responsibility for our health is one of the most damaging behaviors we can adopt as we grow older. While we may not be able to stop the aging process, we have more control over our health than we might think. Many older adults avoid regular doctor visits, neglect exercise, or ignore nutritional advice, either because they believe it won't make much of a difference, or because they are afraid of discovering new health issues. This attitude can lead to more serious health problems down the road, many of which could be managed or even prevented with early intervention and healthier habits. Avoiding responsibility for our health can leave us feeling powerless, and over time, it can have a significant impact on our quality of life. The truth is, small proactive steps can have a profound effect on how we age. Regular checkups allow us to catch potential problems early, before they escalate into more serious conditions. Exercise, even in small amounts, can improve mobility, strength, and mental health. Eating a balanced diet can help manage weight, blood pressure, and cholesterol, keeping us healthier for longer. Taking responsibility for our health means recognizing that we still have the power to improve how we feel and function, even in our later years. One reason older people might avoid taking responsibility for their health is fear. Fear of what they might find out if they go to the doctor, or fear of the effort required to change long-standing habits. But by confronting these fears, we empower ourselves to make informed decisions. Rather than seeing healthcare as something to be afraid of, it's helpful to view it as a tool for staying as strong and independent as possible. Early detection of illnesses, routine screenings, and even small lifestyle changes can dramatically improve how we feel and how well we age. Another issue is the mindset that it's too late to make a difference. Many older individuals believe that once they've reached a certain age, there's no point in trying to improve their health. But that's simply not true. Our bodies are remarkably resilient, and improvements in diet, exercise, and medical care can lead to noticeable benefits at any age. Whether it's reducing the risk of heart disease, improving mobility, or boosting mental sharpness, taking responsibility for health is an ongoing process that pays off no matter when we start. To make this easier, start with small, manageable changes. Incorporate gentle exercises like walking, yoga, or swimming into your daily routine. Focus on eating more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Don't skip medical checkups and discuss any concerns with your doctor. Taking small steps toward better health can make a big difference in how we feel each day. In conclusion, avoiding responsibility for health can have lasting consequences, but by taking small, proactive steps, we can significantly improve our quality of life no matter our age. It's never too late to take control of our health and feel better, stronger, and more vibrant. 8. Isolating yourself. As we age, many of us may start to withdraw from social activities and relationships, often without even realizing it. Whether it's due to physical limitations, fear of being a burden to others, or the belief that younger people may not understand our experiences, this tendency to isolate oneself can be one of the most harmful behaviors we adopt as we get older. Social isolation not only impacts mental and emotional health, but can also contribute to physical health issues, making it a dangerous habit to fall into. There are many reasons why older people might begin to isolate themselves. Physical mobility issues can make it difficult to participate in activities we once enjoyed, and the energy required to keep up with social engagements may feel overwhelming. Additionally, as friends and loved ones pass away or move on, our social circles shrink, making it easier to slip into a pattern of isolation. However, it's essential to understand that staying connected with others is crucial to our well-being, and withdrawing from social life can lead to loneliness, depression, and a decline in cognitive function. One of the biggest misconceptions about aging is the idea that being alone is inevitable. While solitude can sometimes bring peace and reflection, isolation is something entirely different. It is not about choosing to be alone. It's about feeling disconnected from others, which can lead to a sense of purposelessness or even despair. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and no matter how old we are, we still need meaningful connections with others to thrive. Social isolation can be subtle. It might start with saying no to a few invitations here and there, until eventually social interactions become less frequent. Over time, this behavior can create a cycle where the less we engage with others, the more distant and disconnected we feel, and the more isolated we feel, the harder it becomes to reach out and rebuild those connections. This can lead to feelings of being forgotten or invisible, which can further contribute to isolation. To break this cycle, it's important to actively seek out ways to stay connected. This doesn't mean you need to attend large gatherings or social events if that doesn't suit your personality. Staying connected can be as simple as making regular phone calls to friends or family, joining a small social group, or even participating in community activities, whether it's a book club, a walking group, or volunteering. These small steps can make a big difference in maintaining emotional well-being and giving life a sense of purpose. In today's world, technology offers new ways to stay connected, even when physical proximity isn't possible. Video calls, social media, and online communities can bridge the gap and help older individuals maintain relationships, even from a distance. While technology may feel intimidating at first, it can be an excellent tool for staying engaged with loved ones and keeping loneliness at bay. In conclusion, while it's easy to slip into isolation as we age, it's essential to recognize the value of staying connected. Meaningful relationships and social interactions are vital for maintaining mental, emotional, and physical health. By taking small steps to reach out and engage with others, we can combat isolation and continue to lead fulfilling, connected lives. 9. being overly critical. As we age, it can be easy to become more critical of the world around us. After all, we've lived through decades of experiences, and we've seen trends, behaviors, and societal changes that may seem foreign or even unwelcome. This tendency to criticize others, particularly younger generations or modern ways of living, can come from a place of feeling disconnected or from the belief that things were better in the past. However, being overly critical can create distance in relationships, leaving us feeling isolated and misunderstood. There's a certain wisdom that comes with age, but it's important to remember that our wisdom doesn't mean we have all the answers. As the world evolves, new ideas, technologies, and cultural shifts bring about changes that might feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing the present to the past, judging today's world against the standards of the one we grew up in. While there's nothing wrong with having strong opinions, being overly critical can make it harder to connect with others and can close us off to new experiences. Being critical of others, whether it's their lifestyle choices or even the way they dress, can create tension in relationships, especially with younger family members or friends. The more we criticize, the more others may feel like they're walking on eggshells around us, which can push people away. Criticism often comes across as judgment, and no one enjoys feeling judged, particularly by someone they care about. This can strain relationships, making it harder to maintain the close connections we need as we age. Additionally, being overly critical isn't just about how we treat others. It also affects our internal well-being. When we constantly view the world through a lens of criticism, we can become more negative, focusing on what's wrong rather than what's right. This mindset can sap our energy and joy, making it difficult to enjoy life's small pleasures. The more we focus on what we dislike or disapprove of, the more disconnected we feel from the people and the world around us. So, how can we shift away from being overly critical? It starts with empathy. Instead of jumping to conclusions or making judgments, take a moment to understand where the other person is coming from. Everyone's journey is different, and what works for one generation might not resonate with another. Practicing empathy helps us open our minds and hearts, allowing us to appreciate different perspectives. Another helpful strategy is to focus on the positive. Instead of pointing out what's wrong, make an effort to highlight what's right. Compliment the things you enjoy or appreciate about the people in your life, rather than criticizing the things you don't. By focusing on the positive, you'll not only foster better relationships, but you'll also create a more joyful and uplifting environment for yourself. In conclusion, while it's easy to become more critical as we age, doing so can harm our relationships and our own sense of happiness. By practicing empathy and focusing on the positives, we can nurture stronger connections with others and cultivate a more optimistic, fulfilling outlook on life. As we reach the end of this video, it's important to reflect on the 9 behaviors we've discussed. These are behaviors that many of us, as we grow older, might not even realize we're engaging in. But they can have a significant impact on our relationships, our mental well-being, and how we navigate the world around us. The good news is that by becoming more aware of these habits, we can make positive changes that allow us to age with more grace, dignity, and fulfillment. Aging is not just about the physical changes we experience. It's about how we choose to engage with life. The way we communicate, how we care for ourselves, and how we interact with others all contribute to the quality of our lives as we age. By avoiding the behaviors we've discussed today, such as dominating conversations, excessive boasting, or isolating ourselves, we open up new opportunities for deeper connections, personal growth, and continued joy in life. It's crucial to remember that aging is not a time to withdraw or feel defeated. Instead, it's a time to embrace our wisdom and experience while still remaining open to new ideas, relationships, and personal development. The journey of aging is one of evolution, of constantly learning, adapting, and growing. By being mindful of how we engage with the world and how we treat others, we can continue to make meaningful contributions to the lives of those around us and to our own. So what steps can we take moving forward? It all starts with self-awareness. Reflect on your own behaviors and habits. Are any of these tendencies present in your life? If so, take small, manageable steps to shift them. Whether it's becoming a better listener, taking more responsibility for your health, or focusing on empathy rather than criticism, each step brings you closer to a more fulfilling and graceful aging experience. In closing, remember that aging doesn't have to be something we fear or resist. It's a natural part of life's journey, and with the right mindset, it can be a rich and rewarding phase. By letting go of the habits that no longer serve us, we make room for the things that bring us joy, connection, and purpose. I encourage you to take these insights to heart and apply them in your own life. Thank you for sharing this time with me today. If this video has resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more discussions like this one, and join our community in exploring how to live life fully and gracefully at any age.